not a building engineer, sorry. I'm inside for machining, but I'm inside construction and energy, and then I have education from CBS, where I have been using a lot of time on understanding use of technology. That's very important for me. I've been 15 years implementing 3D technologies in the industry before I came here, and I have been head of this department since 2008. NTI is actually a Danish company. Now I'm here, and all your audience is very young, so I don't think you are familiar with the drawing board. Old drawing board. So actually the company started making drawing boards in 1945. So we have a great history changing from these drawing board situations now to being a consultant company, and we are about 90 people in Denmark, and we are 170 people in the Nordic. We have a revenue in Denmark last year about 150 million. We have our own development department, so we develop a lot of product ourselves, but we rely on the product from Autodesk, and we are Autodesk Microsoft Gold partner as well. We handle a lot of disciplines. We have building industries, infrastructure, industry of course, and media entertainment. So most of it you are familiar with. We have some very strategic goals in our company to secure that we are multi-vertical. That means a lot of your business inside the AC business is multi-verticals. There's everything, even though mechanical and manufacturing stuff we see coming into the AC business right now. So that's what we have focused on. We have focused on to make some unique solutions, because a lot of the software is made of, for instance, Autodesk is an American company, and sometimes we have regulations in Denmark, and every time, sometimes it doesn't fit to the local market. That's what we are going to do. We are making unique solutions for this. And the third one is one of the most important, that is business understanding. It's very, very crucial for our team to know the problems that are in the industry to solve all the problems. We have a consultant house, and we have a lot of trainings. We have about 15 areas for education in the Nordic. So we have a large setup of support around these solutions here. And we educate people in different kind of ways. We are now in the education side, and you get some kind of training, but we have actually all kinds of training, webinars, blended learning, we have class training and so on. So we have every kind of training, because we see that it's very important to have a mix to make a super education for people. We are here today to talk about how to capture and handle information regards to BIM, and I made this in the red mark for the eye, and a lot of you is working with BIM, and I think you are very, very strong. What I hear in the industry, when you come out as young people, you have very, very good skills, and that's very, very important. We need new blood in the industry, so it's very, very positive to see when you come into the companies, because things will change. A good match we have seen is taking one of the older, which have been responsible for decades, and one of you together, you can make a very, very good success. And we see it happens more and more, but it's very important that we get new blood in there. A lot of people is working with BIM, they think, but it's more or less building models they're working with. So we think for the importance of this, it's very important that we have a system or a kind of solution which can capture all these information and deliver them from project to projects, and also in the project to secure that things are changed. We all know this. How many don't know this? Cure. Have you seen it before?
Yes.
have nothing. It's about that we need to take the decision earlier. That's what this cure says. But if we can handle the information, what we are going to make our decision on, it's no worth. So it's very, very important. And I think a lot of people is missing, or have been missing, to have focus on how we capture information during the building process. We all have seen that everybody have been focused on modeling, but all the stuff around has not been focused. But there are some changes right now. It's also a challenge to handle this when we look at the perspective how we are going to make it. We are working with methods, we are working with resources, and we are working with technologies. So it's a challenge to be in this world here. So it's very important that we can handle our information across platforms and across applications. That's very important. We also have a lot of metadata, or a lot of data. When we are working in the industry and making a building process, we have a lot of disciplines we have to do, and it creates a lot of metadata, and a lot of information is lying in these documents here. So it's very important to capture all this and reuse it again. We also see that the advantages for BIM is the understanding of the design intent. So therefore it's very, very important. This is from McGraw-Hill. But therefore it's very, very important that we have focus on this. So this is on Danish. I will try to translate something. How we're going to translate data from the ERP systems. For instance, in Denmark, we see a lot of people are using, every time they start up a building project, they use Autopilot, Navision, or SAP. So they start up there. They're not starting in Revit. They're starting in an ERP system to define the project, and there's a lot of information which is born there. How we gather these information into other disciplines, that's what we're going to look at. How are we going to handle revision and all the comments? We see a lot of comments on the documents. Every time we see changes, a lot of people have to be heard, and it's sometimes internally in the company and sometimes externally in the company. But it's very, very difficult to capture all these information and get feedback into one system. We also see how we're going to handle information across partners in a project, internal and external, as I said before. We see a challenge where all these consortium, I would call them, when people are going to, for instance, most of the hospital building area right now is based on consortium, because they take a long time. They take maybe 5-10 years to work there. So how are they going to function? Because they are sometimes sitting together, sometimes they are different kind of people. They are often different kind of legal entities. So it's very important to have something to handle this. And how can we change project data to facility management? That's also something that's very important. Why is this interesting right now? That's because the fees in the AEC business right now, in the branch, is very, very compressed. We see very, very short headlines, pipelines, and we see very, very pressed fees. So there's a lot of focus on optimize internal processes. That's what people are looking at right now. They have very, very focused to document their value. It's funny that they're building a building, but it's very important to document what you deliver. We also see this in the drawings and so on, but there's a lot of stuff around this, and there has been a lot of focus on this, so this documentation of the value you deliver in this is very important. Normally, management is a little older, and they found out there's something called email coming up. We have been having it for years. But a lot of executives have found out that there's a lot of vital information which is running on emails. Earlier it was during with mails, normal mails, and it was archived in the company and so on, and there was a procedure for this. Now a lot of things and vital information is handling inside emails, and they're very concerned about this. Sometimes a contract or a agreement end up yes in the last mail, and then you have to go 5 or 10 mails back to find out what was actually agreed in all these. So that's a lot of executives against it right now. They have also seen it's very, very expensive to lose information or not find them again. Because of the first one, that the fees are very pressed, we also see a lot of trials. There's a lot of trials going on, and people try to fight against each other in the courthouse, so it's very important to have control of your documentation. And my last one is that I think it's very, very vital parameter to compete on the speed how you change data. For when you're building a building, it's based on assumptions. Assumptions what to use it for. But if you can make some different kind of options to your customer, it's very, very important. And to do that, you need to have control of your information and your data. So it could be good to have one system to registration of all information in the building process. Having a system which is very close to what we are working with today. Simple solution, a scalable solution, a solution where I can support the Danish digital building, and also the formal syntax for how we handle and structure information. Make a core implementation time and base it on known technologies. And that's what we have been doing and what we have been doing for many years. Actually, we have been doing this for about 20 years in our company. We have a concept, it's called MDoc, and it's handled all these things. But it's more or less since the last 3 or 5 years, 3 years I think, we have seen a change of this, what I'm talking before. And everybody have been working on focus on making 3D models, but we see a change now that people are really focusing on information, capturing them. So the concept is that we handle, of course, all our sheets and models from Revit and AutoCAD and so on. We handle all documentation about emails. We have integration with other CAD systems, applications. We have project webs, and we also integrate to SharePoint. That's typical what we see in the market. We integrate with all Office package also, and it's very, very easy to use because it looks like more or less the Explorer, and it's based on Microsoft as well. So I'm not on a very short time able to present it on live, but here's a snapshot of the system. So we have a information board here, a function panel where we can see all our cases, to-do jobs, tasks, and so on. We have information that's typically like the Explorer, but we have more information on this, so we can see is it approved, who is changing things right now, and what is the current version of things. Then we have some favorite over here. That means we can very easy pick out a favorite project where we can swap into it. And then we have a typical information chart where we can put our data. And then we have a viewer down here, and it's handling around 250 formats. So different kind of seen here. So that's what we are working with to capture all these things. And because it integrates to these things that I'll come back to, we can capture all these information. We handle also all these templates. Yes?
Can you send the information back to the programs that part of the information for?
Yeah, I'll come back to that. We handle all the templates. We handle task lists. That means if you need to secure that something has to be done, you have to check that, you have to make a revision of a drawing. It will end up in a task area. We have a lot of search facilities here, so we can search on every kind of things. We can search on index. That means we can search down in documents, or we are looking into, we can search inside AutoCAD right now, but we are looking into searching from something inside Revit also. So we have index search, we have a lot of different kinds of Boolean search machines, so we can search everything on disciplines, areas, and so on, and also on charts and so on. We can also scan things, and we can handle all emails. And emails is, as I said before, very, very important information carrier in the market. And they often carry attached documents. So we can actually use our viewer down here to see where the document was coming from. So we can see sitting with a model, we can sitting with a PDF file, and we can ask the viewer here, where did you come from? So it's very, very strong documentation for what time we got this in, and we can define the original email, so we can present it if we are going to have an encryptation with some. We integrate to all kinds of CAD systems, basically Autodesk, of course. We also have some L applications, and we have Bentley MicroStation. That's what we see typically in Denmark. And viewer is integrated, so you can actually view them, and you can switch on and off layer and blocks and so on and so on. But to come back to your answer, the question, I'm sorry, we are going both ways. If we take an example here for where we take information from the ERP system, it could be autopilot or vision and so on. We're typically driven from this system here. We normally never go back in this, between those things here. We can do, but normally it's not so popular to push something into the ERP system. We can normally lift a file out here, XML file here, and then we can put it in. That's normally. But normally we're going from the system here. And every time if something changes in the project information, vital information in regards to project, it will run into the SQL database here, and we can integrate it with Revit and get it out on sheets. So all these information from the ERP system is captured here and pushed out in the applications where we integrate. And we go both ways. So we can sit in the CAD system, even down in the sheet, making a change, and we will go back. So we have some wizards, so we can help the user. So you don't, if you look at this model here, you're not sitting in a lot of systems. You're only sitting actually in one system, and you are looking up in the ERP system, but you're not seeing it. It's only that this value comes from the ERP system, for instance, because it's a direct link to either by SQL or it's by ODBC. So you don't feel that you have to sit in a lot of applications. You only need to sit in one application when you start here. So we start off the project here, and then when we have started off the project, we start off the cases here. And every time we have started the boxes for the project and these cases, we start up putting all the documents down there. So they get all the information from the project and the cases. information, and it's very, very important area. We see that if you're going to change something, it's across partners, and a lot of people need to comment on this. So we use Revit, and NTI is actually holding the Revit model. So we are able to handle everything what's come in and out of the model. And every time we will make a change, we will typically make a proposal, and it's DVF files. And this DVF files typically goes out to a group. Normally they're sitting in meetings, or they can be sent around. And a lot of people need to comment on this. And this is the change document, and they typically, with the green border here, publish this. They publish this on the project web, but we integrate to all these, for instance, ByggWeb and iBinder and other stuff. So we integrate to these systems, so we can publish the things up automatically. Normally, you have to sit and put all things up on the project web, but if you approve it here, it will automatically run up on the project web, and if you change the approval, it will be retracted again. And then we typically see a file after the change. So all the information we handle in NTI and Revit, and AutoCAD of course also. And every time we see a change in this, we will have the file. That means we capture the DVF file every time, but we also capture the information chart. So you can go back in time and find, for instance, an earlier revision and make it on as the first revision, if it's allowed. So it's very, very strong to handle these process here, and we can, if needed, we don't see so much in the building area. Inside the industry, there's a huge template here for ending up with a approved document. Normally in the AC industry, we only see one or two boxes here, because it's sometimes that they have a very simple approval process, but we can make it very complex if we need. We also see how we are handling all of the information in the building process, and if we look at this, we have typically a company where we install the system here, and then we integrate to project webs, and we can publish this on the webs here, and then we actually it's possible to communicate with all these during this project webs. I think most of you are familiar with project webs today, but the work here and secure that it is getting done is made automatically here. So we publish up here, and then we can split it up to all the others. And then we are able to transfer here, because we put all things in a database. We can exchange this to a facility management system, so we can actually give the building over a database with all the information there, so they can use it in facility management. So, and then we can, from the facility management, do a lot of stuff. I will not go into deep to this, but we can change the model for if the building is living up to different kind of standards. We can mark up rooms here where it's the red one would be if it's not living up to the standard, and so on. So we can check the model from the FM system. We also see when we're talking about information, we need to restructure information. We see a lot of different kind of parties working together, and they are using a lot of stuff. When we see when they are building a project, they use some efforts on working on the models, but there's a huge job on data job too, and assembly all kind of information. So it's very, very important that we can, for instance, we typically take things out of Revit. We have some tools, called NTI tools, and we have it to exchange things on to Excel, because everybody can do Excel. And there's a lot of people which have a meaning about these informations around the people which are using Revit. So we put it out on Excel, and we can actually change the building. Actually, you can change the building heights, the codes in Revit, or in Excel, and then withdraw it, take it back into Revit, and you see the building going, changing. Because it's very fast to do in Excel. We also see that how many is working with description, or when you make a building, you need to make a description of the walls and how the quality is going to be and so on. How many is familiar with that? Specifications, you call it, yeah. That's very important, and a lot of people are sitting in Word doing it, and if you have been working inside Word and need to have to check all the references and so on, it can be sometimes a little bit difficult, and if you put a dimension on it again and have different kind of people accessing these Word files, it's going to be very, very complex. So we have made a very, very simple system, it's called BIMtalks, which capture up all the specifications. And we are actually doing this, that we are taking things out from this Excel, and we can make a quality assurance for do we have the right specification to the right building complement here. Sometimes it's not going ideal. Sometimes the Revit model is built on one time, and the specifications are made at another time. They're not always going along in the inside industry, what we see. For instance, the architects is typically making the specification way before they're making the models. But we do that we compare these, so we are sure that we have the building information, the building models, and we have the specification, and check out is everything the same. We also have a solution for how to handle these project offices, the consortium, I said. And it's very important that everybody which is working on the project here is using the same numbers. They typically have the same syntax for the group, and we can actually make a cloud solution, so we can have some job servers which secure that even people are not sitting together, they will get a replication of all this data, so everybody is looking into the same thing. That's very, very important. There's a problem with us software, because you are working with legal entities, and you have different kinds of domains, so it's very, very difficult to match or mix different kinds of IT systems for different kinds of people, companies together. That's really a challenge we see. So, if you are focusing on, there's a lot of systems, we have one system. So if you have focus on this, you get some good wins, I will say, because you will have a better data structure, and you will have a better communication, because you are having control of what have you been sending out, for instance. So it's very, very important. We have a lot of customers which are using this. Vespa is a small company, it's lying in Ballerup, and they are about 40 people, and they use this system for handling all the information about emails and drawings. So the engineers don't have to ask every time for information. They can actually go into the system and find it, instead of using others' time. So we see a different kind of change in the organization between engineers and people who are sitting there drawing normally. We have it's up to the speaker to what language they speak. But there's coming people from Outdisk and also a lot of our experts. More questions? It's in Scandic Hotel in Sydhavn. So if you go into our website, you can see, so we are having it every spring here. We are about, last year we were about 200 people, 250 people. So it's 2 days.